Hi everyone, and a happy Thanksgiving to my American colleagues and family and friends who are celebrating today. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm blessed to work for Americans. They can be very difficult, I must admit, but it's a learning process working with them. Most of them are very nice to me and most of them like me. I have some repeat customers that I deal with and they remember me. They say, "You're the one I spoke with last time," or they say, "I hope I can get you next time. Don't you have a direct extension?" But it's better that way, that they don't just have one person that they come to, because then they can't say there's special treatment or anything like that. I prefer it that way. And I'm at home today because our company is giving the new hires a chance to take the calls and to get experience before we hit our Christmas season. So I'm using a vacation day to stay at home. It was a beautiful day this morning. I got busy doing other things, so unfortunately it's gone overcast now. But it's a good day to, like the Americans, to use the day to give thanks. I'm also remembering JFK. He was my dad's favorite of the American leaders and presidents, and I remember watching the funeral when it was replayed and how many people, country leaders, went from all over the world, regardless of their faith, to honor him and to grieve the loss of his life and the way he was struck down. And my dad's cousin used to tell me that a lot of people liked Robert Kennedy, but for my dad, I know my dad liked JFK. And I watched a lot about his life, how he suffered with polio, how he was a cripple, how he struggled with so many diseases and the operations he had on his back. And it's incredible when you look at those photos, you don't see all that. You don't see all the pain, you don't see all he went through in his life. And I was very, very touched by his life and by his wife standing by him, and his assassination. It was devastating. I watched that movie Parkland a little while ago, and he's one of the people that stood up for equality, for women's rights, for human rights, for racial equality, and he was an amazing leader. I mean, I wasn't alive 60 years ago when his life was cut short, but he was an amazing leader. I've watched some of his speeches, I've listened to them, and yeah, I get emotional for somebody that I didn't know, but you know, you get emotional about Christ, so why shouldn't you get emotional about somebody who did so much good for our world? He had women's prayer breakfasts. He had a lot of things that now everything's about the men, but there was a lot of work that was done by him to promote women and to promote prayer breakfasts for women, and he spoke at the prayer breakfast for women. So I like all those things about him. I didn't know how much he suffered until I started reading up about him and reading. There were even points where the Catholic priests had given him the last rites because they didn't think he was going to make it. That's how sick he was. And he got better. So it's sad. It's very, very sad. The way that movie is portrayed, it doesn't look like he had they did the last rites in the hospital, but it was very sad. It was very sad, and they portrayed it very well. Parkland, when Jacqueline Kennedy took her ring and she put it on his finger in the hospital. She was in that hospital room with him until the end of his life, and she wore that suit, that blood-covered suit on the plane. So I think Thanksgiving is also about remembering his life, remembering the ultimate sacrifice that he made when he stood up for what he believed in. And yeah, just giving thanks for all the blessings we have, for work, for food, for clothing. I know things are very, very hard for me and a lot of people. Working on minimum wage is not ideal, and it was never my aspiration in life to work on minimum wage. My aspiration was to work as an executive assistant or HR or doing something where I could use my skills and earn a 6-figure salary and be able to do the things that I want to do, not to be poor and getting handouts from people. And I find it very, very hard. I do go to family sometimes and say, can you please help me? But I find it very hard, and the older I get, the harder it is. It's not easy to be at the mercy of others, to always have 2 weeks vacation after being in a company for 5 years. And things are hard for everyone. The idea is that if you're not willing to do the job, there's somebody else willing to take it. If you're not willing to take the shifts, unless you've got a major health concern, somebody else will do it. So I'm trying to get my John Maxwell going. Hopefully that will bring in some income for me. And I'm willing to relocate to the United States, to go to America or go somewhere else where I can earn the type of salary that I want to earn. So let's see, I've put my feelers out. I've reached out to past managers. I've reached out to the executive I worked with. And I know they do try, but it just doesn't seem to open up for me. So it's very disappointing. It's very disheartening. But I give thanks for all the blessings I have, and that's what helps me. I thank Jesus for everything that I have. I don't take anything for granted. I always find something to be thankful for. And I try to make my life as beautiful as possible. I try to keep my hair nice. I try to dress well. Even if I'm at home working by myself, I try to make sure I'm dressed well because it makes me feel good about myself. And by doing that and focusing on the blessings and having a grateful attitude, that helps my mindset. And I was sad to hear from my aunt that we lost a member of our Hindu community in Zimbabwe. Nobody informed me, so I didn't know. But may his soul rest in peace and the family be comforted at this time when they're grieving. We were all a close-knit community, so it is hard for me. But I've learned, like Mother Mary, to cherish things and to keep them in my heart. I talked to a few people, very few. My aunt is one of them in Connecticut, but I have a few close friends and relationships. And that's how it should be. And I'm hoping that now that Gail has stepped down from the One campaign, I hope we get a good leader, somebody who will be as good as her. And she was a dynamic leader. She led us through so much. And she did so much for us as volunteers, as her volunteers who were committed to what she was doing and the campaign, especially for women and girls. But there's also a lot of men we've helped, a lot of men who are single fathers. And the education for women and girls is important because look at me, even with all my degrees and qualifications and experience, I still can't get into a job paying me over $75,000 a year, where I would be able to buy my own place and live comfortably, because that's what you need to earn in Canada. You need a salary of at least $75,000 a year. Over $50,000 is good, but people with my education, board experience, credentials, that's what they're earning, and that's what I aspire to earn. And whether it's here or in England, in London, or in New York, I'm prepared to go. I always used to say to Elvis, you're Americans. I'm not going to America. I used to have these ongoing prayers and ongoing where I used to talk to Elvis and say, I am not going to America. I can't handle it. It's too much. But now I'm telling Elvis, I'm ready. Let's go. It's boring here. I'm by myself for all the holidays. Other people have got their own lives. They don't care about me. They don't put me first. So it's boring. I know that if I was in America, I could be with my Aunt Teresa or with my cousin Carol or my cousins Danny and Natalie. I wouldn't be left all alone and told, we're living our life, you do what you want. Or get a call saying, hi, what are you doing? We are going to this place or we are going to that place. That's how my family treats me here. So I'm prepared to go. It was a painful journey getting to this place, but I guess I have to trust the process, and I have to trust this guy Elvis, because I truly believe that it's him that's brought me into these, him and Saint Therese of the Little Flower, because it's through her that I got this job, saying that novena. And no matter how many times I said, Elvis, I'm tired of you Americans, I'm still working for the Americans. So who knows where it's going to lead and what they're going to do. But I've learned a lot from watching his life. I'm very grateful for his life, for all the videos, that he was somebody that took a stand against racism, that he was somebody that kept his faith right till the end of his life. A short life and a brief life, but a faithful life, and a life filled with God's blessings. And to be honest with you, there is nothing that I lack. I might live off debt, but there's nothing that I lack. I have everything that I need. My clothes may be a few years old, but they're still nice clothes. They're presentable clothes. And I'm grateful to God for that. And I'm grateful to Elvis for that, because his music literally saved my life. And I listen to his music every day. I put the radio on now and again, but I cannot tolerate other music for too long. It just irritates me. There's a few artists that I like U2 or Phil Collins, Olivia Newton-John, some of the Beatles. I like that song, I Saw Her Standing There. That's one of my favorite Beatles songs. But let's see what the year brings. I know that for me, this is not my dream job. And like many people that have left Teleperformance, I'm hoping for better, and I'm hoping for a bigger salary and more vacation. And I hope that things will change for me. But I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving, whether you're alone or whether you're celebrating with friends or family. Jesus is always with us, and the Holy Family is always with us. And today I really thought about JFK. I thought about him a lot. So just giving thanks for his life and for Elvis's life. Bye.